Hi, my friend. Doc Martin here. Now, in the last 3 videos, I've spent some time talking about reframing problem behaviors as stress-related behaviors. And I introduced the 4-step process of stress management. 1, reframe. 2, recognize. 3, reduce. And 4, recharge. In the last video, I talked about the second step of recognizing the stressors in both your own life and in the life of the person you support. Recognizing the stressors consists of 2 parts. Part 1 is to identify the stressors by being a stress detective. And part 2 is to then look for patterns. I made available to you 2 free checklists to download. I actually put in the wrong link for the free checklist, so the correct link is now available below. Now, if you like the information I'm providing, please hit both the like and subscribe buttons. I really appreciate that. Part 2 of the Recognize the Stressors approach is to look for patterns. I want to expand on what I presented last time and go into looking for patterns in more depth. Becoming aware of patterns and then analyzing them is a 2-part process. To begin with, you want to keep a log of each challenging behavior and note when, where, with whom, and what activity or demands were present. Do the same thing for times when everything is going smoothly too. Then write down what the individual's response was and how you and others then responded to the challenging behavior. Your log could be laid out to answer the following 3 questions. What happened before? What did the person say or do? And what happened after the behavior? What happened before includes when, where, with whom, and what activity or demand was present. What did the person do or say includes, it could be both positive behaviors, that's a separate one, or challenge behaviors. Keep a separate log for each of those. And what happened after the behavior, what did the person get? Items, attention, or avoid? Demands, tasks. For example, Francis is an 8-year-old who exhibits challenging behaviors and frequent meltdowns. When asked to do his homework after school, he had a major meltdown. So to answer the what happened before questions, we find that when, after school, where, home, with whom, he and his mother, what activity or demand, asked to do homework, then what did he do? He screamed, threw his book, and refused to work. And what happened after? In this case, his mother did not give him and waited out the tantrum and made him get back to work. The goal here is to identify the observable purpose of the behavior, to find the why. Why did he do that? I call this a surface behavior analysis. As I've been discussing, an even more important question to answer is, why now? That is, why in recognizing the stressors, I started with having you first identify the stressors. What are the underlying biological, emotional, cognitive, and social stressors that are triggering that behavior? If you stopped with just answering the why, the presumed function of the behavior, your analysis might be incomplete and even lead you to an inadequate and even harmful intervention. For example, we might assume that the behavior is escape behavior, to get out of doing his homework. In this case, we might force Francis to stay on task, but we are doing nothing to help him deal with the underlying stressors that led to that particular response. Why now? What is it about it? Why did Francis need to escape? Was the task overwhelming, too complicated, boring? We need to answer the question, why now? Maybe it's been a long day with lots of negative events happening, and Francis was running on empty energy-wise. Knowing why now can help us determine if we need to shorten the amount of time doing homework, breaking it up into sessions, wait until later to do it, or make the homework easier. If necessary, we can eliminate homework altogether. You may need to find ways to reduce the stress, and the individual may need time to recharge his depleted energy bank. And that is the topic for the next 2 videos. Now, if you're getting any value out of this, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Thanks. Now, here's another similar example that is called the delayed effect. It's when a meltdown occurs after the stressful conditions have ended and the person is in a safer setting. So many times I have had parents report of explosions when their child walks in the door after school. And the school says, must be something you do because he was an angel at school. And they assume it's the parents' fault. They're not doing good behavior management. But the school day was full of stressors, and the school staff failed to recognize that the child is stressed but holding it together. By being a stress detective, you can look at the variables that were causing the stressors and then design coping strategies for the child to better deal with the stress. You may be able to help the school personnel understand the individual is highly stressed throughout the day and work on developing accommodations to lessen the stressors, like building in breaks during the day, teaching simple coping skills, reducing some of the noises in the classroom, allowing the child to eat lunch in a quiet room. And once the child comes home, you may need to allow him or her to engage in calming activities. These are person-specific. For some, it's the need to escape to their bedroom for an hour or so. For another, it might be to go listen to music. And some may need to engage in robust physical activities. You want to allow them to engage in whatever helps them release the stress and recharge their depleted energy batteries. Once again, this advice leads to my future discussion on steps 3 and 4 of the 4-step stress management program. Reduce, step 3, recharge, step 4. So stay tuned for those episodes. For now, I have one question and one request for you. My question is, after you have identified the range of stressors, will you now start to identify patterns by looking at both the surface observable behaviors and the stress-related behaviors that lie beneath? Imagine difficult behaviors are like an iceberg. What you see are meltdowns, tantrums, backtalk, hitting, fighting, yelling, ignoring, arguing, the tip of the iceberg. But what is really going on may lie beneath. An overwhelming stress response due to confusion, anxiety, loneliness, sadness, poor sleep habits, picky eating habits, embarrassment, being teased, bullies, to name just a few. Remember to ask not only why, but also why now? My request is simple. If you haven't downloaded the free stressors checklist, do so now. I know you will find the 2 checklists helpful in your role as a stress detective. Now in the next video, I will go over the next step, step 3, how to reduce the stressors. Don't forget, if you're interested in everything I am talking about, to hit both the like and the subscribe buttons and turn on that little bell next to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of my uploads, because I know you're really going to like them. This channel is being designed especially for you, parents, and other people who provide support to individuals with developmental disorders. Take a look at my online Moving Beyond Meltdowns Academy that right now has 2 programs for you, a mindfulness program and a healthy eating program designed especially for support providers. Also, take a look at my Healthy Lifestyle Learning Academy, designed for people with developmental disabilities, with programs to be done with the help of their support provider. The links to both of them are below. Now, thanks for watching, and please leave any comments you might have or suggestions for topics you'd like to see me cover. I'd really appreciate that. So for now, just keep on trucking.